Master Hutton, 1981.
Yes.
Taekwondo journey began at 17. You were 17 when you started?
Yeah.
Same as me.
I was 17, yeah.
17.
I was, yeah.
You were very shy, apparently.
Extremely shy.
But I wouldn't... Looking at you today, but actually I had a look at the video online, and that was inspiring. It was actually... It got me motivated just watching your intro video on your website.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
And I thought, that's what I've been missing. So to see that and to see you again today, it's like it's the real thing. It's not...
Could be a Marmite thing. You know, you either love it or you hate it.
No, people might say, oh, he's in my face all the time. But
yes,
you need that.
I am in people's face all the time.
Don't need that.
I am. If they wish to really empower themselves, then I'm in their face and they end up there in mine. I always see it as a two-way feel for us, you know? Yeah.
Going through some of the stepping stones or the building blocks to your career as a martial arts master and an owner of a school, go back to 89. You opened your first school.
Yes, in East Kilbride.
East Kilbride, John Wright Sports Centre.
Yes. Well, that was my first school on my own. Grandmaster Sutherland, many people don't realise that Grandmaster Sutherland and I were partners in life also for many years. So we had opened in Lithgow. I think that must have been about 84, 85. And at virtually the same time, we took over, with her as the lead, of course, we took over Bathgate because Grandmaster McCallum went to Vienna to become the Under Secretary General for the ITF and General Choi's right hand man. So so suddenly it just went boom, as it were, you know, and we were in charge of Bathgate and Lithgow. Sheena was in charge of Bathgate, Grandmaster was in charge of Bathgate, I was an assistant instructor, and we opened up together in Lithgow at the same time. So 89 was me opening East Kilbride on my own, as it were. So yeah, that's what's that, 35 years ago?
I don't do the maths these days.
This is our 35th year in East Kilbride, and my 43rd, and I think more or less 43rd, in Taekwondo. Still a youngster, for goodness sake.
I know you
know.
When you said your age earlier, it's the same. I sort of see this pattern when I hear people's ages that are martial artists. I go, you don't look it. Yeah. You don't act it. And I'm hoping I'm the same.
Yeah, well, you are. I can tell you now. You are, and you look strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but again, it's just lovely to have you here. And I'm really, you know, I'm so happy you're here. I love to meet good people. Number one, you know, and good people from my past. Yeah. I'm very melancholy quite quickly.
Yeah,
I must admit, and I love our history because we have a wonderful shared history. Because, you know, General Choi, Grandmaster Rhee, Grandmaster McCallum, for you Grandmaster Campbell, for me Grandmaster Sutherland. So that tree that we have is a direct link right to our founder. So it's we're blessed.
Very much so, and sometimes I probably forget about it. There's things that happen. I suppose they're just tests at the end of the day, and that's what you do and how you deal with it.
Challenges that can inspire and uplift us if we approach them properly. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Back to the beginning of the UKTF.
Yeah.
Because I don't really know what happened there. It was UKTA 1 minute, but my first license slip had UKTF on it.
Yeah.
September the 2nd, 1987, I think it was.
87 was when we formed the UKTF.
That was it.
Yeah.
And
it was a massive shift because as you know, 84 was when the TGB had left the ITF and they formed the TAGB. And for very much similar reasons, we formed the UKTF. It was fundamentally about being able to move. At 4th degree, you have the right to grade your own students. That wasn't afforded at that time in the UK. I want to make it very, very clear that, you know, in life, you know, you have challenges, you have a clash of heads at times, you know, but we have, to be honest with you, nothing. I myself, Grandmaster Sutherland, if she, God rest her soul, if she was here right now, she would say that it's 100% the same thing. Grandmaster Rhee gave his life in Taekwondo in this country, and we're indebted to him massively. And at that time, we couldn't come to an agreement. Senior instructors like Mr. Jim Scott, Grandmaster Peter Harkis, Grandmaster Sutherland, and we left the UKTA which at that time meant actually leaving ITF.
Yeah.
You know, but we were talking with Grandmaster Jung and so on at the time. It was all convoluted, but the bottom line is, you know, we then formed the UKTF. Obviously, Grandmaster McCallum was in Vienna, and he again was a conduit, a voice to General Choi that we did not want to leave ITF, although we were outside officially, and we were for the next 3 years. We stayed on our own. We didn't go anywhere else because ITF was in our hearts, and there was only one ITF at that time. So we had no wish to be anywhere else, you know. So UKTF was formed, with some people in England in that as well.
Yeah.
Master Roger Koo and Master Pereira and different people like that, Master Donato and Arditzi and so on, you know. So we formed the UKTF, 87, and that's when you got your first licence. So you just came on at that time when we left the UKTA and formed the UKTF. Very, very turbulent times, you know, as it were. It really was.
I didn't understand, but I kind of did feel some sort of shift.
There was. There was. It was very, very tough because as, you know, you're adults, and I was at that time I'm about 22, you know, 23, coming on 23. You're still very much, I mean, Grandmaster Rhee, I never met a more impressive individual in my life. That's you know, you said earlier on, you know, master in Taekwondo and so on, you referred to myself. I'm sorry, I still can't see that master thing on me, because the masters that we saw were Rhee, you know, Pat Jung Soo, Pat Jung Tae. I never saw Han Chak Yo at that time, you know, or Nam Tae Hee, but JC Kim. These are giants, absolute giants, you know, in Taekwondo. CK Choi, legends. Genuine, proper legends. So, how can I then be a master standing next to those masters? You understand? They came on there. They were the originals. They were the originals, and so for me, always gods of Taekwondo. Literally gods of Taekwondo, and you know. So, to think of myself as master, still the title still doesn't sit well on my shoulders. I've never been able to reconcile master with myself. All I know is that I hold this high degree, this very giddy, it's 8th degree for goodness sake. This is my I can apply for 9th degree this year actually for Grandmaster. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I have to really try and sit down and think about that after European Championships that come up and see what the score is with that. But it just seems like time's passing so fast.
Yes.
But in the wake of Rhee and so on, I don't see myself as master. Those people are master. And it always will be for me.
Yeah,
you know, I think it's like a child looking at their dad. It's always your dad, and you're always the son of the daughter. And that's how I look at Rhee and those people. Rhee is a phenomenal individual who did incredible things. And I'm going to have the pleasure to see him because our group are inviting him to Poland next week to honour him for the All Europe Taekwondo Federation, which he named. Was a founder of.
Fantastic.
So it's great to know that they are going to honour him, and rightly so. I think he's about 87 these days.
I think he's just had a party, isn't he?
I'm very much looking forward to seeing him next week. That's for sure.
I like telling this story for people that never met him. My introduction to Rhee wasn't seeing him; it was hearing him. But before even hearing the voice, the voice, it was in the sports centre in Edinburgh, 91 I think it was, and all you hear is
wasn't it an IIC, was it, in 91?
Yeah.
In Meadowbank?
That's it.
And his baton hitting the walls?
That's the one. Back fists, fore fists, he's thumping the breeze block wall.
Yep.
And you hear that first thing, what's going on?
That thud, that thunder. Yes. Yeah, I've never seen anyone more impressive in my life. Honest to goodness.
And that was him just waiting.
just boom. Yeah. And just a whole thing of shuddering sort of thing, you know. And I saw General Choi, myself and Grandmaster Wallace. We were thick as thieves always back then. And we were sitting having lunch at that very seminar. And we saw a crowd forming, and all we heard was doof, doof, doof. We're sitting talking. Eventually we went up to what's going on. General Choi had his shirt rolled up. As you know, General Choi always took seminars in a shirt and tie. Three-piece suit sometimes, you know. Yeah. And he's hitting not the back fist, which is tough enough, but he's back at palmo. And he's hitting the edge of the brick and he's destroying the brick. And the Meadowbank Sports Centre people were just beside themselves because he's destroying the wall. It's just dust and brick particles on the ground. And Meadowbank back then was all brick wall inside, and he's destroying the damn wall. He's barely 5 feet tall in his platform shoes, and he's destroying the wall. And we were just, so how do you follow that? Do you understand? So yeah, I don't quite see myself as a master that these guys are.
We're going through a little bit about yourself, and there's lots of, you probably can't remember them, there's that many, but written here there's things like Team Sparring Open World TKT Championships in 81, ITF European 4th degree pattern champion 5 times?
Yes.
Throughout 93, 97.
5 consecutive, yeah. Yeah,
So
I didn't lose in Europe for 6 or 7 years. I only lost at the World Championships. I lost in Korea against the North Korean, who in the final forgot half the pattern and still only lost 3-2, so I was never going to beat that guy at that time. But in 94, when I had no doubt I'd be world champion, it was the first time I did sparring before the patterns. I had great draws in both, but I took a kick after the bell and it snapped my nose. Anyway, the next day we had pattern and I had concussion, so that didn't go well. In 97 I lost in the semi-final. I must admit, it was anyway, I couldn't quite believe I'd lost in the semi-final. So I got a bronze in my last World Championships, 1987 in Russia. So internationally it was five Euro golds, but I didn't have the chance. I missed 5 Euros because we were out at the ITF, and I did travel to a few and they wouldn't let me compete. But once I got a chance to compete, I won 5 consecutive wins.
Make up for it.
Until I retired. Blessed to do so, for sure. And Open World Championships, was very, very proud of the work because the TGB, we fought in the semi-finals, the team sparring, and we lost to the English team, and they didn't even put that in the video. Scotland did very, very well. We got the bronze. We got the bronze in team sparring. So open world team sparring, and 5 Euros and a world bronze. Yeah. So
just checking it is recording.
Yeah.
It has
so,
to be written.
Yeah, and just travelling the world, from North Korea to Malaysia to Russia for the World Championships, and all over the world, and meeting some just incredible people. You know, Paul Germain, one of my favourite sparrers of all time in Canada, Canadian Paul Germain, and Stefan Tapalatu, and the Tapalatu family, Grandmaster Vim Boss. I mean, goodness gracious me, these people changed my life. They changed my life. You know, but coming out of Bathgate, I was blessed. We trained our backsides off. Grandmaster Sutherland was a phenomenal instructor. Not so much detail orientated. She'd just jump up in the Rhee perch in Bathgate and she would just rip your head off. So for an hour and a half you just died on that floor. And she was a passionate Scot. You might notice that I have my wee, a passionate Scot, as am I. Which doesn't make us anti anybody else, just passionate for what we are. Yeah. So I was blessed to have her as my instructor, and Grandmaster McCallum, who was massively helpful in my Taekwondo journey. Massively helpful he was.
Starting your martial arts journey, you had a bit of a boxing background, at least in your family. Your family was boxing orientated.
My family, my family are karate and judo orientated. My father was the boxer, and a very, very good one. A very, very good young boxer. His father didn't allow him to go professional. Back then it was very, very strict. But my dad was an excellent boxer, an accomplished amateur boxer. But 12 in the family, 12 brothers and sisters in his family. So they were mainly karate. Wado-Ryu and Wado-Kai was the styles. And 2 of the brothers were very much into judo. They were doormen. All the family were involved physically. Very involved physically. Came from Falthouse and Shotts, you know, that's where the family came from. So very hard working mining folk who worked very hard and played very hard. That's what I was brought up in, that type of family. My father was the oldest brother, so the last thing they wanted me to do was Taekwondo. I can't say on camera or on what they called Taekwondoists, but they were not very complimentary. As far as I'm concerned, all that dancing and moving around with a bunch of fairies, and that's the nicest thing I can say. So we had a family coal business at that time, And my uncle Pat who was the head of the business, it was his business, we worked for him. He always made sure that I was in my training nights, which is Monday and Wednesday in Bathgate at that time, under Grandmaster Sutherland, taught white to green belt. Grandmaster McCallum had the senior classes. He always tried to get me as far away as possible from Bathgate, so I couldn't get back in time to go to class. This went on for months. And they refused to come and watch me until I was red belt, going from a black stripe. When they first came and watched me, and when they came and watched that grading, they saw Wiki Ha, they were converted. And after that, they were good with me doing Taekwondo, and they were proud of me. Up until that point, no, it was karate, because karate was more powerful because it was harder, harder in movement, as you know. And judo was just a fight straight forward, you lift and lay people. So Taekwondo were far too much bouncy, flicky leg nonsense. So yeah, they weren't big fans, until they saw us doing it properly. If they saw Taekwondo today, they would be mortified.
Yeah, I was going to come on to that, but
not all Taekwondo, of course. But yeah.
So what about Taekwondo these days then? What's your view on Taekwondo these days?
Well, first of all, it's not Taekwondo's fault, it's our fault. Ours as in seniors. It's not the competitors' fault that certain things in the sport are done a certain way, because the competitors, and I've said this in many podcasts and many interviews over the years, the competitors of today are far more better prepared, as they should be, than the competitors of yesterday. The science has moved on tremendously well, and they have so much in their favour. So you have tremendous athletes in the floor, but they're not given the freedom to really, especially in patterns and things like that, to really go on that floor and really truly excel. I'd like to see a lot of changes to the sparring and that as well, and them allowed to compete much harder than right now, because it's in some areas it's far too soft. And Taekwondo always went with kickboxing around the world. And we look at things, something like Thomas Barada, for example, Master Barada from Slovenia, multiple times world kickboxing champion. But most of the Taekwondo champions who went to kickboxing were world kickboxing champions back in the day. You know this, and we fought kickboxers all the time back then. Kickboxers are great, but ITF Taekwondo transformed how the kickboxers fight. And now when you look at that, very often I see the kickboxing doing classier sparring than I see the Taekwondo doing. They're still very phenomenal Taekwondo sparrers, but in general, if you look at Tansu tournaments, and if you look at TGB still, you see TGB, the kicking is phenomenal right across the board. But ITF, there's only a few phenomenal kickers, then good kickers, and then punchers with turning kicks. Still wins, it's winning, but really ITF sparring was never about power, was never about knockouts, was never about uppercuts and hooking. It was about showing just how spectacular in this big 9 square metre ring the tactics were so important, but it was always about devastating kickers and punchers. But they showed the legs phenomenally. The Nerios, the Banadorios, and the multiple kicking was always there. If you look back in the day, look what Jermaine could do. If you look at Stefan Tapalatu, Thomas Barada, these guys can really kick. These days there's a lot more of the hands when the rear leg turning kick came in. Still. Yeah. And I would love to see the kicking brought back in, whether that's making 5 points or jumping reverse turning kicks and this, that and next thing, because the athletes of today are phenomenal. But when I look, they could do so much more for themselves if we, the seniors, and the officials and the coaches got together and really made the spectacle of the ITF Taekwondo even more exciting, because the competitors of today could rise to that occasion.
So what does a senior, it sounds like they're pandering to the competition and how the competitions are structured, but what could seniors do to turn the style or the competition? First and foremost, we have to teach the martial art better again. Let people understand why patterns are so important in close quarters techniques and close quarters combat is so massively important. Why it's massively important that by only looking at sport, and I believe today is ITF sport, that 90% people are not looked after. Because they can't kick above the waist. They can throw the leg above the waist, but they can't kick above the waist, not fit for purpose. So when people are only taught in most schools these days, the way to fight is actually sparring, when sparring is the way we play. ITF, sparring is how we played.
and then we did host and Sully fight. So for example, back in the day, we would do sparring all the time, you know, and we're all, look at Bathgate, we're all phenomenal kickers, we're all great kickers. But it came to street defence, all the kicks went low in the close quarters here, and the knife hands to the throat, and the way to really fight properly, face to face, nose to nose. Yeah, the vast majority of schools don't do that. The vast majority of schools just do sparring. And the sparring usually is really terrible because, again, they're kicking 25% of the body. A 25% most of them can't reach with their legs properly.
Yeah.
You know, and they end up punching away like this because they're off balance. I mean, who on earth would go forward into a fight using only one leg? Standing on one leg and trying to flick a leg. You know, there's a video going around all the time. And it's this so-called master. He's a Korean, 7th degree. He's in the ring with a Muay Thai guy, and he's flicking his front leg side kick. So you know that so-called, I'm saying so-called, because if he was a master, he would know that Muay Thai guy is ready to kill him. And Muay Thai is one of my favourite stand-ups of all time. These guys are phenomenal, and they're killers. So you've got a Taekwondo sparrer that's not made for killing, it's made for points. Above the waist to 25% of the body, fighting a machine, a killing machine, who kicks from your heels to the top of your head, with elbows coming crunching on your forehead. Of course, as he flicks the leg, the Muay Thai guy goes, it's Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year, and my birthday, all came at once. He just grabs his leg, takes the rear leg from him and destroys him. And there's the understandable headline that Taekwondo is useless. Taekwondo's not useless. If he was doing host and Sul, his fingertips would be trained to pierce the eye sockets and to rip out the throat and to destroy the knees. That'd be more like a fight for the Muay Thai guy, who's a beast.
Yeah.
Or Muay Thai girl.
More even.
Doesn't matter, because they're all beasts. They're trained to be beasts. Taekwondo sparrers trained for a 9 square metre ring. It's a sport. We play with the sport. It's a phenomenal sport, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And for me, there's nothing like a in combat when you see the an ITF sparrer who really knows their stuff. It's stunning. It's amazing. You put a reel up of all the best, the top 10 competitors of all time in sparring. Takes your breath away. Takes your breath away. You know, but the vast majority, no, and they're not taught anything else back in the school.
Who would be your top 3 sparrers?
Paul Germain sticks out for me straight away. From the first World Championships that I saw him in 1984 in Glasgow. He'd already been at 1981 in Canada, where he'd ripped through people all over the place. I remember Grandmaster Dave Oliver talking about this guy. He'd destroyed Ron Sergi at the time, who Ron Sergi was destroying everybody. So I saw him first in 84, that World Championships. He was just absolutely incredible. Stefan Tapalatu, a great friend of mine, but what a phenomenal fighter. There's so many, by the way. Tapalatu's from Django Tapalatu and Patty Tapalatu, those kind of guys. Thomas Barada, Master Barada, holy goodness me. You know, Jean-Pierre guy, sorry I don't know, Finet, or Finet, sorry I do forget his second name. Big tall fella, big tall black fella. Great hair, there's always the pizza thing in his hair. I saw him warming up once, got up and doing the hall doing these Nereo Chagis like they were just nothing, just running bump doing Nereo Chagis. He's a phenomenal fighter. Yeah, these are just guys that pop into my head, you know, straight away. You know, yeah, so many. That's the past. That's the past, guys. You know, you're looking here just now. You have to ask my kids who the top guys are. You know, last World Championship there, Grandmaster Boss's son Timothy. You know, great fighter. He's now doing full contact, these kind of things. But ITF sparring is not full contact. No hooks and uppercuts for a reason. Let's get these legs absolutely flying, the hands absolutely flying, a 9 square metre ring, great tactics, and people who are fast, fit and hard. And let the contact go, because hitting hard to the body is not full contact. Hitting hard is not full contact. Full contact is the mentality to knock somebody out.
Yeah, the intention.
The intent means everything. All black belts should be kicking and punching hard, for goodness sake. You know? But the moment you have intent to hurt, which can be seen a mile away, then that's where the minus points comes in. Not for a hard technique, but for the intent to hurt. So good referees taught well to see the difference You're getting minus points and warnings for kicks to the body these days. That's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. Intent to hurt, forward, looking to really hurt somebody, bad behaviour, and unsportsmanlike conduct, minus points. Not for hard contact. Not for hard contact. The contact was much, much harder back in the day in general. Much harder. We need to educate ourselves better, educate our people better. We have phenomenal people from the top right down to the competitors. But we also have to have a martial art where they're proud to come to international courses that they can see how this martial art works, how we destroy people with our fingertips, with our jinjumuks, how to rip people's heads off at close quarters. That's ITF Taekwondo. It's brutal. Absolutely brutal. So let's see that brutality, and let's see the sports side of that brutality, and let's have a place for everybody to come and train, no matter how old you are, no matter how stiff you are, because as I've said before, I'm going to break something on your body. I give you the option in a fight. I break your jaw or I break your knee. Well, any right thinking person gets their jaw broken, the fight's still very much on. If your knee's broken, the fight's over. So a high kick does not make you a good kicker. A good kicker is something that actually works. If it works, you're a good kicker, not the height.
So when it comes to the syllabus, and we've got students that are coming through, they're a bit like me, aging a bit, and they're approaching red, black belt, and they can't kick where they're supposed to, in inverted commas.
Well, you're supposed to kick certain heights in the pattern.
It's
made very, very clear. But again, because people only do patterns in sparring in a sport-like fashion, they have no other point of reference to what a good kicker actually is. So from day one, I set the tone. Knee high is low section kick, mid thigh is middle section kick, and hip high is high section kick. So let's teach you how to kick, and that's it. Now you should spend your life in the pursuit of excellence for yourself individually, looking to get more flexible, looking to get fitter, to get stronger, especially from the mindset. Our mental training is the single most important thing, because we face many challenges in our life as we get older, and the stronger mindset we have, the better we'll take those challenges on. And let's face it, one of the wisest men on the planet, Sylvester Stallone, has put it very eloquently in many of his movies. Life will beat you down, but it's not getting down, it's you get back up, it's how you can keep moving forward. Phenomenal. Stallone comes out with these things that inspire you like hell, for goodness sake. But it's fine, it's very, very true. Of what you've been on your knees, Ian, and I'm sure I've been on my knees. Sometimes I stayed there for a bit more time than I had hoped to stay there, and life will put me there again at some point. But my mindset, my taekwondo training gets me through that. If I was nothing but a tournament sparrer, or a tournament pattern boy, or a tournament power guy, or a tournament something else, I would not be fit for purpose. I would not be fit for life, because those shiny medals and trophies do bugger all when your knees hit that deck. They do nothing. But your black belt training, your colour belt training, if you're taught with an instructor who understands martial art, who understands the mentality, and understands the pain you're going to go through at some point, they're making you fit for purpose. I'm not a coach, I'm an instructor. I'm an instructor. I was asked many years ago, what gives me the right, just like present day happens, what gives me the right to talk about personal things and your life and what you should be doing with this, that and next thing? Well, if you're looking for my right, that's an individual thing. But my qualifications are many years in taekwondo and in life, pushing myself through barriers. As Jan Choi told me personally many, many years ago, a wise man is not someone who's made all the right decisions. A wise man is someone who's made the worst decisions on the planet at times, but he or she has learned from those decisions to move on and to overcome. And that's the experience of an instructor, many years in the making, which is why you're only an assistant instructor until 4th degree in taekwondo. Black belt is nothing but a novice and apprentice. So you go black belt, 1st degree, 2nd degree, 3rd degree, you're boosa boom. Not until you get minimum age of 25. Minimum age of 25. Minimum of 10, 15 years training by that point. Minimum. That's a lot of experience. Now you are an instructor. Forget the international thing. Now you're an instructor, officially. So that gives you a lot of experience. If you have came through the grades well, then that gives you the experience to sit through life skills and help to educate your people on that floor that life is going to beat them to their knees. and you and Taekwondo are here to help them in those dark times to see the light. That, sir, is an instructor and not a coach. A coach sits on the edge of the ring and they're massively important for their competitors. And I'm both a coach and an instructor, but I'm a coach well second to an instructor first. That's why we have etiquette, that's why we have a chain of command, that's why we have the belt grade system, all of that. Because someone who's a 5th, 6th, 7th degree, it's not about how great they can kick, it's the fact that they are enlightened through the years, and that's what Sasha means, enlightened one. Not the very best fighter, not the very best of anything, but someone who has so many years experience, and that's why you, yes sir, to that person, yes miss, to that person, because they have those years of experience. With respect to instructor and seniors. But our seniors is not our seniors in Taekwondo, it's our seniors in life.
In life as well.
So that should be taught. It's not being taught properly, in my opinion. Because on my seminars, people are coming to me and saying, I've never had this before, never had that before. But they should have. Because I'm not great shakes. I'm just someone who's dedicated, you know, and love to impart any knowledge that I've got and learn from others. Which is why I say I'm going to hit everybody, everybody hits me. And let's test our understanding and our knowledge of Taekwondo on the floor. And if you've got a better way of doing it, for goodness sake, help me. Because I don't want to go about thinking my way is such a great way, and if there's a better way, then I want to learn that better way. My eyes are open.
It's definitely where I stand as well. I mean, I've got experience and I've got a rank, but I want to learn.
Yes.
And I'll go somewhere and I'll go with, you know, sweatpants and a t-shirt.
100%.
No belt, no uniform, just teach me.
100%. The daily Dojang for me, your Dojang is everywhere. Your Dojang, you take your Dojang with you wherever you go. Any kind of space in your bedroom in a hotel room is your Dojang. Anything at all, it's getting those push-ups done, getting those squats done, getting that knee work done to work that York chariot constantly. Rotating the body to actually make sure that you're hitting so well with that pyung. The understanding of close quarters. Getting your finger nails on the floor and your fingernails of your feet, your toenails of your feet, and doing your push-ups. Because if not, you can't hit with this to the. So you're not a fighter. What's that glove got to do for you? What's that glove going to do for you? It's like a boxer. You get Mike Tyson. He takes his gloves off to fight, and he absolutely shatters his hand. His own power led to his own destruction. He still killed the guy, by the way. But you understand?
Yeah.
So a martial artist isn't supposed to have gloves on.
No.
The sport does, and it should. But for the martial art, we train and we toughen our bodies so we can destroy people who are much bigger and are ready to kill us. This guy's going to destroy me. I've got one shot. Get to his throat, get to his eye sockets, get to his mandible, get to his knees. If I've got that chance of leveling the playing field. By the way, if I don't do it quick, the guy's going to kill me potentially. But that's life, isn't it? But our sports people don't have that experience, don't have that knowledge. And if they're black belts, they should have, because they're instructors, they're Sabim instructors, and their master instructors should know that comes first. And that enhances their sporting ability through their confidence, their knowledge, and their mental and physical training to take into that national team for Italy, for Holland, for New Zealand, for Germany, for Greece, for Korea, for Malaysia, for Scotland.
So it's definitely they need a belief in what they're doing can do the job, rather than belief that they can go in and win a medal.
We have people who teach Taekwondo as a sport and do Krav Maga and different things as a street defence. How scary is that? People tell me I've got to learn grappling. No, I do not have to learn grappling. Because I see if it's a real fight, I don't want to grapple with anybody.
No, you want to keep them away.
On the deck, I want to get them really close. And I want to put my Unjajumuk in through their eye socket. That's what I want to do. I want to take my Jinjumuk, wrap it off their temple, destroy here, get my fingertips into here. I want to rip things and just destroy them, not to grapple and try and put them in locks. And when I'm trying to put that guy in a lock, what's his friends going to be doing? Because 45% of all fights, of all street attacks, is more than one assailant against you. So I'm sorry, I don't want to try and tie someone up on the deck.
No.
I want to burst them, rip them, destroy them to get to the next person before I get too much of a kicking, if I possibly can. Or I just get a kicking. I've had it before. Hopefully I won't have it again at 60, nearly 60. But I've had it before in my life. I've been kicked unconscious growing up. So I've had my share of doings. I wasn't some kind of tough, ultra hard guy, you know? But life has taught me, my parents taught me, my family certainly taught me, and my experience in Taekwondo and life have taught me what you have to do to defend yourself physically. And it's sure as hell not tournament sparring.
Prevention rather than cure.
Yes, awareness, first and foremost, de-escalation techniques, all of that prevents vast majority of anything. But if someone's in my face, there is no Taekwondo sparring technique or karate sparring technique, yes, there is a Muay Thai, and so on and so forth. And you say, yeah, but you can use elbows, but you don't use elbows in sparring in Taekwondo. So if you're only sparring every day, you fight how you train. You look how you eat, and you fight how you train. It's really that simple. So if you're not training Host and Seal, you will not fight Host and Seal. So don't tell me I have to learn grappling. I don't have to learn grappling. It's a sport. It's a sport. And by the way, I've got uncles and cousins that'll take you to the ground and they will rip your head off on the ground. But that's okay if you're only one-on-one. One-on-one. And when they're doing it, they don't have someone who's pushing their thumb socket through trained thumbs every day to do these things. These are not fingers, they're steel spikes.
Reminds me of Terminator 3 when it moulds into the
spear. Yes. When I see that, I think of Rhee who can break those boards. So come on, let's just be real for ourselves.
Yeah.
Don't call Taekwondo rubbish at this, that, next thing. The instructor or the student are rubbish at it. But Taekwondo is certainly not. Every single martial art is a killing art. The fact we can't kill with it, that's down to us. It's down to us. And seniors like me, it's our fault for not ensuring that ITF of today is an ITF that teaches the martial art first, from where come phenomenal sports individuals. There's horses for courses. Okay? So when I go next week to Poland and I see those phenomenal athletes on the damn floor, then I'm in awe of them. The best of them. And I think, wow, you guys are tremendous, you girls are tremendous. But for the majority that I see on the floor, I feel sorry that the patterns that they're doing are so weak. Not because they're weak, because they're too afraid. Well, here's the thing, I'll jump. If I'm sitting judging a pattern, I'm taking nothing but marks off you. I'm not sitting there judging the best of you, I'm judging the worst of you. That's not martial art mentality. That's wrong. That's wrong. So you're looking at who's the best on the floor, not who's the worst.
Yeah.
Not who's the least worst. It's the wrong way to judge anything. So if I see this, for example, or a stance that's out, say it's a Sonka Devi Maki, and there's more Sonka Devi Makis in pattern than any other movement in the world, for goodness sake, Point two, all coming off. This person's weak. They're not blocking as in deflecting, the hands are going straight up and down and making a shape. And they're making a shape and they're world champions. Because the other person, you're noticing a point two, they can just take point twos off all the time. Sorry, the way we judge pattern is very, very poor. So when you're judging for the worst, who's the worst person on the floor, the worst person goes off, and not looking at who's the best overall, who blocks properly, who is fit for purpose.
That's how
You're creating a European and a world champion. They should be incredible athletes at Taekwondo on the floor. Not weak, not soft. And their kick should be absolutely blistering at shoulder high, blistering at eye level. And if they're kicking below that, but if losing a little bit of balance here and there, it happens because they're giving 100%. If losing a bit of balance means you've lost, they're all scared to lose balance. You have competitors who are doing patterns with fear. You're breathing fear. Don't do that just in case. You've got Juche, Tumio Bandidorio Fiage Chagi, jumping, reverse, dodging kick in the air. You look at the World and European Championships next week, they'll all just skip back and put their leg out with their foot on the ground.
Yes. Yeah.
How disgraceful is that? How disgraceful is that? These young athletes could do it in their sleep. So if you ask them to do Sangbang Chagi, why not ask them to jump in reverse turn kick in the air? That's the craziness of today. So yes, we're letting them down. It's not the athlete's fault, it's our fault. That's my take on it, sir.
Oh, love it.
So when I go to all these seminars and people are going, wow, I didn't realise Taekwondo was so hard. That makes my heart bleed. Colonel Nam Tae Hee won the Korean version of the military cross in the Medal of Honor. Don't know how many were confirmed kills. Used to burst into tears just talking about it. That's Gina Choi's right hand man. Major Sergeant Han Cha Kyo, Kim Bok Man, these people are hardened in combat.
Real combat.
Real combat. These are General Choi. Goodness gracious me. What a badass. And yet, we're diluting it and diluting it and diluting it. So you should be a warrior who also does sport. Or doesn't do sport, because I don't want to do sport.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Now, do I put all my people into sport? Yes, because it's part of their journey these days. You're not putting them in real fighting, but you put them on the floor to demonstrate in front of everybody and be competitive in front of everybody at least once or twice. So that, because you can't be an instructor in Taekwondo without having sampled everything, in my opinion. Whatever your level is, you just to turn to football and see Jose Mourinho. He wasn't the world's best player, he was one of the world's best managers. So the world's best instructors are not always the world's best competitors or the world's best technicians. We know that. There's a place for everybody. Good, as long as they work their backside off through blood, sweat and tears, not just time driven. There's a place for everybody. A place for everybody who works their backside off and lives a life, in my opinion. You know? If you're well overweight, hey, it happens in life. But get your backside back in gear and start living the life in martial art, eating better, getting in better shape and being inspirational to your students. You shouldn't be long term with your belly hanging over your belly. You shouldn't be. It's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for you, for your psyche, it's not healthy for your body, for our life, and Taekwondo's life skills. So you get in shape. People will remark quite often about me being in great shape, but that should be the standard, not the exception. You mentioned about, I'm 60 this year. It's very, very young. Grandmaster Boss, I'm sorry, sir, I don't know how old you are. Don't think you're quite 80 yet. This man's phenomenal. But he should be phenomenal as a Grandmaster. He should be phenomenal. He's a Grandmaster. Now, I still respect the living hell of him. And I follow him. He's one of my major inspirations. And people say to me, I'll go look at Grandmaster Boss, for goodness sake. But many years ago in Livingston, I trained out in Livingston, Broxburn actually. And it was a gentleman. He was from the Caribbean. I forget his name. Master Blair will remember his name. Back then, no, it was a trainer in the gym.
Okay.
He was 82 years old. He had a six-pack like fists. He was from the Caribbean. He lived and worked hard all his life. And what a phenomenal guy he was. 82. What a build, what a guy. We should all be like that. We should all be like that. We're martial artists. We live this life. Get your belly inside your belt. You can do it. You can do it. You know what to eat. You know, sometimes in life breaks us down. And comfort eating is one of those things that we do. We understand that. But get yourself back in shape.
Absolutely.
You know, and I should be an instructor who sits here and says to you, no, you shouldn't be in that shape. I can understand why you are. I'm not condemning you for it. Absolutely not. But in the long term, get back in shape. Get back in shape. You know, you're injured, you put weight on. Hell, you have tragedies in life, you put weight on. You fall away from this, that, and next thing. It's completely understandable. And we're here to help you get back into that. Like hopefully people have helped me get my head back in gear, get my head back in shape. Certainly going through some traumatic times in the last couple of years, that's for damn sure. The most traumatic time of my life is just now. My Taekwondo helps me through it. If I was just a sportsman, it wouldn't be that helping me through it.